Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're doing well. Please like the video before we get started just to help out with that wonderful algorithm. We're going to talk a little bit about this Elliott Wave pattern, which looks a lot like a head and shoulders, as we've discussed previously, where we established a lower low and a lower low after the lower high effectively. Okay, so again, we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then A, B, and C. Okay, so hypothetically, we are at the bottom here, and we shouldn't experience much further. Now, what's cool about this here, we got $51 as a potential support level where the price action bounced off that lower liquidity level. Lower liquidity was swept, price returned back to normal. Again, a lot of it is contingent on Bitcoin recovering back to 36,500. Its current average true range. You also got to recognize, though, that Bitcoin is kind of jumping up and down between 36.5, 36.3. If we close over 36.5 today for Bitcoin, it would be a pretty good sign, okay? Now, we're not breaking this short-term bearish trend for Bitcoin just yet, and we do not want to presume the same for Solana, but we do also want to kind of understand that we are on the right side of tracks right now, and it's looking better again, but it's not a guarantee. Okay, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Quick thing, too, to note as well, to all my current Bitunix subscribers that used my affiliate link previously, we have an awesome little campaign running here, starting from the 23rd to the 30th. You get an extra 20 bucks for just trading on the exchange. Okay, so really cool little campaign they're running. That's the great thing about this exchange. They consistently want to reward their members. So again, if you use my link down below to register, you obviously have the option to be able to qualify for this as well. So be sure to check that out. Really cool little, nice benefit. And again, we mainly partner with them because there are no KYC, no VPN exchange, because a lot of my US, Canadian, and UK members got hit kind of hard with that. Okay, let's start with the backend data here first and kind of work our way down. Now, as previously mentioned last night, if you saw that, we had very, very low liquidation levels now below 51. So as soon as 51 was retested, all the previous liquidity levels have been swept, okay? What's interesting though, there's a ton of shorts right here at about $62 to $64. So if you have a liquidation level there at that point, I'm not telling you to close that. Just be mindful that that's the next target for the whales. They want to make sure to grab that juicy profit, okay? So keep in mind that is going to work as a potential magnet. So we could literally put this guy right here and essentially consider that to be the next level to be tested. All right, so again, we've got a lot of little things we want to look at first and make sure we get through, but we could be at the bottom here. Again, we got this double bottom type of situation here where we could very well see the price action continue. All right, so one good thing here on the daily, we never came below 50 on the RSI, so that's a great sign. We're still considered to be bullish. Money flow index is lower, but that's based on the last 14 trading days. It's going to average out kind of lower in most cases on the daily, okay? We are still swinging divergently here on the MACD, so we do want to double check and kind of see in the next couple of days how that's working, but we got to presume here that we have momentum to the downside still, and that may not discontinue until we have a few other things taken care of. First things first is we want to double check the actual moving averages here, and really there's only one we got to focus on for the moment because the others are further behind. It's the 20-day SMA. That's what this ascending trend line is running concurrent with. And we can see here that we're still above that. We tested it last night and we ramped right back up here. So again, that's more of a confirmational sign letting us know that we are, again, on the right side here of this ascending trend. Okay, so the short-term trend line we lost. We can kind of summarize there that we did lose that short-term trend line, and we have a resistance at about 61.15. That'll still work as resistance until it doesn't, okay? That was the most recent rejection level. But we got $58 as the next potential resistance level that we need to be paying attention to. That's a 0.618 fib, and that will potentially cause us some resistance here. So we can break through that. I wouldn't say today, but soon. That would be a good start to this reversal, okay? But again, the daily is still looking fairly decent. I would say like a 60% likelihood of further upside based on what we see here on the daily so far. That MACD divergence isn't great, but it's not a reason to take a trade. Okay, again, it's just kind of a complementing factor. All right, now make sure you watch my Trading Basics. I have a playlist for Trading Basics, and I do cover the MACD and kind of how it works. You're probably familiar by now. It's a very, very common tool. But again, if you keep things kind of simple and basic in trading, you're going to be a lot more successful. Try not to get super complex with all these funky indicators you see people using. Honestly, the standard indicators work very, very well in crypto. Take a look here. We are back above the 100-day SMA. That's a very, very good sign. So closure today at roughly $55, $54.75 would be appropriate. A really good continuation potential. Once more though, you can see we got our average true range here for this coin is about $58. So that's the kind of the middle point, exactly that 618 level. And then of course we can kind of see both the moving averages are hanging out right there too. So again, we're not in the clear just yet. We got to get above these two moving averages to have a fighting chance. Okay, so I think that we're still a little premature to celebrate, but I still also feel that we're starting to see this little bit of a shift here. Keep in mind, we did establish lower lows and lower highs here recently, so we are still in a downtrend. To break a downtrend, you need to have higher highs and higher lows. I'll talk about that here in a minute with the smaller time frames, but here's another consolation. We are starting to lose momentum to the downside, so we can see here that there's a potential convergence on the horizon. That's a very fantastic sign. TD sequential also tells us we became very overextended to the downside, and we're just now starting our first little reset here as a 1. So hypothetically, based on the way that this has been moving, if you look at Solana, look how almost exact this is. 9 on TD sequential, price pulls back. 9 on TD sequential, price pulls back. 9 on TD sequential, price pulls back. 9 is TD sequential. What do you think we're going to see next? We're going to get another 9. This coin consistently runs for 36 hours at a time. In either direction. So hypothetically, we have a stronger chance of the price session continuing up for the next 9 4-hour candles, essentially 36 hours. Okay, so again, that's not a guarantee. We got some resistances here in place. Once more, 61.15 and of course 58 are the 2 key level resistances, but still a very, very good sign. Okay, ultimately nice. Quick look here at liquidity on the 4-hour time frame. Just to note, again, tons of liquidity up here, and as we saw on the chart here. For high block capital, about $63 is the approximation of the most amount of volume here that we're seeing for shorts. So most of the shorts are right here. Okay, so we're just going to move our magnet to that low guy there. It's a great chance we're going to see $64 retested in the relative near future. Okay, especially if we can hit a 9 here and break this most recent high. I'm not presuming that'll happen right away, because what will likely happen is we'll come up here, reject out, come back down and bounce off this most recent low. That's essentially what a perfect pattern would look like. So to speak on that too, again, trend reversal, you got the descending trend, right? To be able to break that, you want to be able to, of course, break above that level, okay, first of all. It should also come with a higher high, so it needs to be higher than this most recent high, okay, because we tried to have a little bounce right here when the price of Bitcoin is bottoming out, and it just kept going down lower. But if we can get a higher high right here and then come down to bounce off this most recent 0.786, about 54.75, we should be in good shape to continue higher. Again, I'll post this type of playout on my charts on my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. They look something like this here. That's from yesterday. But just kind of general perspective, that's roughly what we're looking at there. Okay. Last thing but not least, of course, is the Ichimoku cloud. This is actually a very good indicator. We want to kind of confirm where we're at here. And most coins are looking like this right now. Bitcoin's in a very similar scenario where it's below the cloud, but any kind of type of short confirmation is closing. In other words, if you have a short open, you probably should close it by now, because this window of opportunity is essentially coming to an end. We got the conversion line above the baseline. There's good momentum to the upside. We just haven't confirmed above the cloud yet. So again, 56 or 57 or higher would be a good confirmation for an uptrend. Again, and what that would do is if we get above the cloud, what do you know? That'll put us right there at a higher high, or at least a parallel high. And again, that's phase 2 of trend reversal, is effectively getting range bound activity before you establish that breakout. Okay, so we very well could be range bound between 51 and a rough estimate about 57, 56, right in that range. Okay, so that's roughly what we're looking at here. Again, still a little premature to take a long and go hard, but congrats to anyone who has done that. We had some community members did some fantastic things yesterday. Take a look at this here. Here's some sweet longs. Nicely done, Josh Raj. Got in at 52.74, still probably in profit at this point. Nicely done. Obviously, we had some massive shorts as well to the downside, so got some really good traders over in our community. Thanks again, guys, for sharing. Appreciate that. And yeah, I would definitely agree. Giga Chad there for Josh Raj. Well done. All right, folks, that's all we have here for today. Again, you want to become a better trader, CryptoCash.tech is a site. Link down below. We got a lot of new members coming over. Welcome aboard. Keep in mind, we are soon to restrict the amount of users. Once we hit a certain limit, we're going to have to kind of cut that off, just based on the fact we want to have some good one-on-one time with you guys. But I deeply appreciate any and all wonderful feedback I'm receiving, and I'm happy to be helping as well. It's great to be part of this. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.